Going on, everyone? I am so tired today, but I made this PowerPoint presentation for the book of Jeremiah. We're about 200 large print pages from finishing the Old Testament, which is exciting. Now, there are three books in the Old Testament, three that don't have astrotheology in it, the way that I show it. It's the book of Esther, we already passed it, the book of Jonah, Jonah and the whale, and the book of Malachi, which is the last book of the Old Testament, but the rest do. And they have a lot, just like Jeremiah does, and it finishes off on such a bang. So let's get right into this. The first sign I talk about is Aquarius, which is represented by the man. Technically, Aries begins the year, but I start with Aquarius because that's kind of the beginning of our year. So the story of Zeus and the young boy, I've told it many times before, but that's where the story of Aquarius comes from. So there's key words for the sign of Aquarius: son of man and man, because this is the sign of the man; baptism, because this is how you baptize someone; water pitcher, because this is a water pitcher; fountain, because a lot of fountains are built like this; stream, river, pond, lake, ocean, sea. So because there's water in the sign of Aquarius in the picture, it can be used to depict water, whereas Pisces is actually a mutable water sign. It's a sign of the two fish in the water. So all the water examples still play. And what I would like to explain to you guys is that depending on which water sign you're talking about, depends on what patterns they make in the sky. And there's a few examples of water being mentioned as Aquarius and as Pisces. So Aries is the ram, and in Aries you have March 21st, which is the spring equinox. It's a 12-hour day and a 12-hour night. It's also the Passover, or the passing over of the sun over the equator. This literally happened yesterday, and back on its way to its height in the summer solstice. In Christianity, the passing over is changed, and it's called the resurrection of God's Son. Now, in the Jewish Passover, that's when the angel of death passes over all the homes in Egypt, and anyone that doesn't have the lamb or the ram, Aries the ram, blood on the doorposts, their firstborn sons get killed. So ram, lamb, shepherd, or ram's horn is Aries. Taurus is the bull. When you look at the sky and you see Taurus during the season where it's supposed to be, you know that you need to put the plow on the bull so that you can plant the seeds so you can harvest in Virgo and Libra. So keywords: bull, ox, calf, or cow. Cow being the female bull. That's Taurus. Gemini is the twins. It's the story of Castor and Pollux Troy, whose sister was Helen of Troy. It's the story of Achilles. So whenever you're talking about twins or brothers, you're talking about Gemini. Cancer is the crab, and it's the sideways moving creature. Just as the sun rises a degree on its axis starting on December 25th, it stops rising on June 21st. Then for 3 days, it doesn't rise an additional degree or drop a degree. It stays to the same height, hence metaphorically moving sideways like the crab. Then on June 25th, it drops a degree, and then it continues to drop a degree every day until it's December 21st, which we'll get to. The crab in the ancient Egyptian times was known as the scarab. So whenever you're talking about crab or beetle, you're talking about Cancer. Leo is the king. He's the lion. He's the king of the jungle or the savannah, whatever you want to call it. The ruling planet of Leo is actually the sun. So whenever you're talking about lion, lioness, or cub, you're talking about Leo. Then Virgo is the woman holding the wheat stalk. Remember before when we said that you plant in Taurus? Well, the virgins would cultivate the wheat in Virgo in order to make the bread for the year. So whenever you hear virgin, woman, because Virgo is the sign of the woman, Aquarius is the sign of the man. Virgin, woman, wheat, grain, seed, barley, corn, grainy things. These are things that are harvested in Virgo. Libra is the justice. It's the scales, it's the balance, it's the just one. The reason it's the justice is because it judges God's sun as it passes over the fall equinox and begins its descent into winter, into cold, into death. The Jews always celebrate the new year around the fall equinox. Libra is also the wine season, which is when you plant for the grapes in Taurus, you could press the wine here. So whenever you're talking about law, judge, justice, the just one, divorce, marriage, court, lawly things, that's Libra. Wine, vineyard, wine press, grapes, vine, that's Libra. Olive oil or olive oil, that's also Libra. You crush the olives in Libra to make the wine for the oil for the year. Scorpio is the betrayer. He's the scorpion. He's the betrayer. When a scorpion bites you, it leaves an imprint in your skin that looks like a pair of lips. That's why the mafia has the kiss of death, and it's why Jesus was betrayed by Judas with a kiss. So the sun is judged in Libra. Then it is betrayed in Scorpio, like I just explained. Finally, in Sagittarius, the man on the horse with the bow and the arrow, he shoots the arrow at the sun, effectively killing it. Why? Because on the last day of Sagittarius, the last day is the winter solstice. The sun is at its lowest point. It cannot rise any lower. It was considered dead. It was the dead of winter. It remained at that lowest level for 3 days, which is why Jesus was dead for 3 days. When on December 25th, or the birth of God's son, it rises another degree and starts to make its way back up top. So whenever you hear horse, bow and arrow, spear, or horseman, you're talking about Sagittarius. Finally, you have Capricorn, who's the goat, because he likes to climb the mountain. That's what the goats do. That's basically what they do. And if you look at the zodiac on the right, Capricorn's all the way at the bottom. And imagine a sun at the very bottom of this in Capricorn, going to the left a degree a day, going upside the wheel, till its height at the top in Cancer. It starts to climb up the mountain in Capricorn, which is why it is the goat, because the goat climbs the mountain. So these are the 12 signs. So let's get right into this, because this stuff is wild. So I'll read for you guys, obviously. How then did you turn against me into a corrupt wild vine? You are a swift she-camel running here and there, a wild donkey accustomed to the desert. Your sword has devoured your prophets like a ravenous lion. He is not angry with me, but I will pass judgment on you. So the vine is Libra. The camel is Camelopardalis, which is in Gemini. The donkey is Acellus Borealis in Cancer. Now, Gemini and Cancer are connecting signs. Now, the lion is Leo. Now, Gemini, Cancer, and Leo are 3 signs in a row. The judgment is Libra. Cancer and Libra are half of the cardinal signs. So remember, we have different signs. You have cardinal signs, you have fixed signs, and mutable signs. You have cardinal signs, which is why churches have cardinals, okay? And each sign can be broken down into 3 10-day segments called deacons, which is why churches have deacons and cardinals. It's all astrology. The cardinal sign, there's 4 seasons. There's 12 zodiac signs, so there's 3 signs in each season. The first sign in the season is the cardinal sign. It brings it in. Then the second sign is the fixed sign. That's fixed in the season. It's in the middle of it. For example, Aquarius is in the middle of winter. Taurus is in the middle of spring. Leo is in the middle of summer. And Scorpio is in the middle of fall. And then finally, you have your mutable water sign. So, his chariots come like a whirlwind. His horses are swifter than eagles. The chariot is Auriga, which is in Gemini. The horses are Sagittarius. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposing signs. Now, the eagle is the ascendant of Scorpio. Scorpio and Sagittarius are connecting signs. So this tiny little sentence makes 2 astrological patterns. This is how you read it, guys. And I keep breaking down book after book. I've done 40-some videos on this so far, and astrotheology. This is all written the same way. Therefore, a lion from the forest will attack them. A wolf from the desert will ravage them. A leopard will lie in wait near their towns. They are well-fed, lusty stallions. Go through her vineyards and ravage them. So the lion is Leo. The wolf is the constellation Lupus, which is on the Libra line. The leopard is Camelopardalis, which is in Gemini. Just to explain for you guys who haven't heard Camelopardalis yet, it's a combination of 2 words. Camel, which is camel. Pardalis means leopard. Okay. Camelopardalis means the camel leopard. In fact, the giraffe used to be called the camel leopard before it was called the giraffe. So, the stallions are the horses in Sagittarius, which is Gemini's opposing sign. The vineyards are Libra. Gemini and Sagittarius are half of the mutable signs. So we're seeing very specific patterns here that if you map them out on the zodiac, you know, that's what you guys really should do. You guys really should have like a large printout of a zodiac and then just leave little marks on them and see the patterns that they make. It's amazing. The snorting of the enemy's horses is heard from Dan at the neighing of the stallions. See, I will send venomous snakes among you, vipers that cannot be charmed. So the horse and stallion is Sagittarius. The snake is Ophiuchus. These are connecting signs. I swore to your ancestors to give them a land flowing with milk and honey. In the sign Cancer, there is a collection of stars called the Beehive Cluster. That's where the honey comes from. The milk comes from the Milky Way galaxy, which I've traced back to the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I'm sure it goes much further back than that, but the point is, it's at least been called that since before the Bible was written. So we know that it's fair game to be used. Now, its center is in Sagittarius. So from Cancer to Sagittarius, the 6 signs on the right of the zodiac is your land of milk and honey. It's not a place on earth. It's not a place on earth. It's a place in the heavens. And it's the right side of the zodiac. If you have raced with men on foot, how can you compete with horses? Like a lion in the forest, may shepherds will ruin my vineyards. They will sow wheat but reap thorns. So the men are Aquarius. The horses are Sagittarius. The lion is Leo. The shepherd is Aries. The vineyard is Libra. These are opposing signs. The wheat is Virgo. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. Aries and Libra were the opposing signs, by the way, guys. Leo and Aquarius are 1/2 of the fixed signs. So a ton of patterns here. And just so you guys know what I'm basically doing is you have the books of the Bible, right? So I'm going to just crack this Bible real quick. I know you can't watch me, but they're broken down into chapters. What I'm doing is I'm finding all the patterns in an individual chapter and sharing it with you. Not on the page, within a chapter. So right here, you can see clearly this is chapter 13. Where is the flock that was entrusted to you, the sheep of which you boasted? Can an Ethiopian change his skin or a leopard its spots? I will scatter you like chaff driven by the desert wind. So the sheep is Aries. The leopard is Camelopardalis, which is in Gemini. The chaff comes from the wheat. Separate the wheat from the chaff, right? Well, the wheat is Virgo. Gemini and Virgo are 1/2 of the mutable signs. Now, this is chapter 14. Even the doe in the field deserts her newborn fawn because there is no grass, while donkeys stand on the barren heights. For the virgin daughter, my people. The doe is a deer, which is Mariga, which is in Orion. Orion is between Taurus and Gemini. The donkey is a Celis Borealis, which is in Cancer. Taurus, Gemini, and Cancer are 3 signs in a row. The Virgin is Virgo. Gemini and Virgo are 1/2 of the mutable signs. Then kings who sit on David's throne will come through the gates of his palace, riding in chariots and on horses. He will have the burial of a donkey. The wind will drive all your shepherds away. Pain like that of a woman in labor. The chariot is a constellation called Auriga, which is in Gemini, and the horses are Sagittarius. So he's the horse and chariots. Well, guess what? The chariot and the horse are opposing signs, and they're also 1/2 of the mutable signs. The donkey is a Celis Borealis, which is in Cancer, and the shepherd are in Aries. What do the shepherd do? They herd the sheep, right? The sheep are Aries. So the shepherd is Aries as well. Aries and Cancer are 1/2 of the cardinal signs. The woman is Virgo, the sign of the woman. Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius are 3/4 of the mutable signs. Look at all these patterns in these 4 sentences. Now, this is chapter, hold on a minute. Yes, I just did that. Wait, did I? Yes, I did. Okay. This is chapter 25. But if they were, and feel free, guys, open up Jeremiah, pull up chapter 25, verse 28, and see if I'm just making this stuff up. So 28. But if they refuse to take the cup from your hand, he will should them. He will. I forget what that's supposed to say. I mistyped it. He will shroud them like those who tread grapes. He will bring judgment on all mankind. Weep and wail, you shepherds. You will fall like the best of the rams. Like a lion, he will leave his lair. So the cup is a constellation called Crater. which incidentally is one of the constellations that Ptolemy wrote about in 150 AD in his 48 constellations. It's one of them, so it's fair game. The grapes are Libra. The judgment is Libra. The shepherd and the rams are Aries. Libra and Aries are opposing signs. The lion is Leo. Libra and Aries are one half of the cardinal signs. Ton of patterns, guys. You know, I mean, this is, it almost gets, I don't want to say boring because it's so wild that not only are they talking about constellations and stars in the sky and the zodiac, but they're making these crazy, crazy patterns just with the words. It is so encoded. And I try to make this so easy for you guys. And I really, really know that a lot of you appreciate that. And that makes me feel great. So this is chapter 31. I will build you up again, and you, virgin Israel, will be rebuilt. Again, you will plant vineyards. I will lead them beside stream of water. He who scattered Israel will gather them and watch over his flock like a shepherd. You disciplined me like an unruly calf. I will put my law in their minds. The virgin is Virgo. The vineyards are Libra. These are connecting signs. The water is Pisces, and the shepherd is Aries. The calf is Taurus. Pisces, Aries, and Taurus are three signs in a row. So very distinct pattern there. Now, Pisces and Virgo are opposing signs, by the way. And they're one half of the mutable signs. Aries and Libra are opposing signs too, by the way, and they're one half of the cardinal signs. 41, chapter 41. Don't kill us. We have wheat and barley, olive oil, and honey hidden in the fields. The wheat and the barley is Virgo, okay? Hence the bread and the beer, right? The olive oil is Libra. Virgo and Libra are connecting signs. The honey comes from the beehive cluster, which is in Cancer. Cancer and Libra are one half of the cardinal signs. Harness the horses, mount the steeds. This is chapter 46, by the way. Who is this that rises like the Nile, the rivers of surging waters? Charge, you horses, drive furiously, you charioteers. Virgin daughter Egypt. Egypt is a beautiful heifer. The mercenaries in her ranks are like fattened calves. Egypt will hiss like a fleeing serpent. All right, so let's break this down. The horses are Sagittarius. The water is Pisces. The charioteers is the constellation Auriga, which is another one of the constellations that Ptolemy listed in 150 AD. So it's fair game. In Gemini, Gemini and Sagittarius are opposing signs. The virgin is Virgo. The heifer and the calves are Taurus. The serpent is Ophiuchus, which is basically opposing Taurus and Gemini. Pisces, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Gemini are all of the mutable signs. So they're making a very distinct pattern. If you were to map out, draw a line from, for example, where are we here? Pisces and Virgo are opposing signs. Sagittarius and Gemini are opposing signs. If you were to draw lines, two lines connecting them, it would form a cross. Virgo and Pisces are opposing signs, by the way. Though you build your nest as high as the eagle, like a lion coming up from Jordan's thickets, and what shepherds can stand against me? This is chapter 49. The eagle is the ascendant of Scorpio. I've gone into this many times before, just as a quick understanding for people who are new. So I keep forgetting a lot of people watch this and I don't want to get them lost. In astrology, the scorpion is the belly crawling creature. It's the lowest form of life on earth. One of the things that in the book of Genesis, right, supposedly the first book, the first thing that God does to the snake, the first thing that God does to the snake after the deception is he takes away his legs. The snake used to walk apparently, but God takes his legs away and makes him slither. Now, because the scorpion slithers on its belly, it evolves. Astrologically, it's known as the ascendant, and the ascendant is the eagle. And the eagle is the highest flying form of life on earth. So it goes from the very bottom to the very top of land animal. The eagle will evolve one more time and become the phoenix. And the story of the phoenix is the story of Jesus Christ, the Sun, S-U-N. The sun is the same story. It's a flaming ball of life that dies and is reborn from its ashes, metaphorically. So the eagle is the ascendant of Scorpio. The lion is Leo, and the shepherd is Aries. Scorpio and Leo are one half of the fixed signs. Though you build your Oh, we just did that. Okay. And wait a minute. Okay, so there's two. Okay. Be like the goats that lead the flock, because you frolic like a heifer threshing grain, and neigh like stallions. Shoot at her, spare no arrows. Israel is a scattered flock that lions have chased away. Kill all her young bulls. Summon archers against Babylon, all those who draw the bow. They are armed with bows and spears. They sound like the roaring sea as they ride on their horses, like a lion coming up from the Jordan's thickets. And what shepherd can stand against me? The goat is Capricorn. The heifer is the cow, which is Taurus. The stallion is Sagittarius. Sagittarius and Capricorn are connecting signs. The arrows are Sagittarius as well. Now the lion is Leo. The bull is Taurus. The archers with the bow are literally Sagittarius. The roaring sea is Aquarius. The shepherd is Aries. Leo and Aquarius are opposing signs. Now, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius are 3/4 of the fixed signs. Okay, now this is the big payoff that I was telling you guys about. So this is chapter 51. This closes out the book of Jeremiah. And look at these patterns. Let not the archer string his bow. Babylon was a gold cup in the Lord's hand. The nations drank her wine. For her judgment reached to the skies. You who live by many waters. With you I shatter horse and rider. With you I shatter chariot and driver. With you I shatter man and woman. With you I shatter shepherd and flock. With you I shatter farmer and oxen. Like a serpent he has swallowed us. I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. Her people all roar like young lions, they growl like lion cubs. I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams and goats. Okay, so here's the finale. The archer is Sagittarius. It's a man on the horse with the bow and the arrow. That's the archer. The cup is Crater. That's the constellation Crater, which again is one of the 48 constellations that Ptolemy listed. That's between Virgo and Libra. The judgment is in Libra. The waters are Pisces, and the horse and rider are Sagittarius. The chariot and the driver are a constellation called Auriga, which is in Gemini. Gemini and Sagittarius are opposing signs. The man is Aquarius. The woman is Virgo. The shepherd is Aries, and the oxen is Taurus. Aries and Taurus are connecting signs. The serpent is Ophiuchus, which is basically opposed to Taurus. The sea and the springs are both Pisces, and Aquarius, the springs. See how there's two different examples for water? The lions are Leo, the ram is Aries, and the goat is Capricorn. Okay, so what does this all mean? Sagittarius, Pisces, Virgo, and Gemini are all the mutable signs. So all four of the mutable signs are present here. Aries, Libra, and Capricorn, 3/4 of the cardinal signs are here. Aquarius, Taurus, and Leo, 3/4 of the fixed signs are here. If you're keeping track, that's 10 out of the 12 signs. We're just missing Scorpio and Cancer. So my mission is to find a passage, and I almost did it in the Epic of Gilgamesh. I almost did it now in Jeremiah, but I want to find one passage that has all 12. And that will be our golden passage. So I want to thank you guys for listening. Tomorrow we're going to be going to Morg's live stream, and we're going to be pitching my work. If you guys want to come, please do. If you come, please be very respectful, and yeah, let's just get Morg on board with my work. I feel like Morg would really appreciate this. So thank you, everyone. I'll talk to you soon.